Are there any great teams in the NFL? We're going to explore that and more today on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast.
You are Locked On NFL Scouting with the Draft Dudes, your daily podcast for NFL and college football scouting. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's better than this? It's guys being dudes here on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast. We're the Draft Dudes. I'm Joe Marino from Locked On Bills. He's Kyle Crabbs from Locked On Dolphins. And we are your NFL experts here with you daily to talk team building across the league on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast with the Draft Dudes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Want to issue a big thank you, shout out, and welcome to our everydayers. Those of you who never miss a single episode, we appreciate y'all being here very, very much. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you're going to get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app.
Joe, happy Victory Friday to the New York Giants. Big dub.
New York Giants.
The G-Man. Who was that? Was that Berman? Or was that somebody else on NFL Live back in the day?
I don't know.
Was it Tom Jackson?
I was thinking it was Tom Jackson, but I certainly don't remember.
The good old days of
the good old
pregame shows, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to the Giants, man.
I know.
Scatterbo.
3 tuds,
running people over. Jackson Dart high-fiving the official for the ball spot at the 1-yard line.
They were 100% fun to watch last night.
Yes, they were.
Boy, it was. I mean, they were the more physical team, and Jackson Dart, I don't know how much of that he's normally going to be able to get away with, but my goodness, The way he was moving within the pocket, extending plays, the tight window throws that he hit. I had a good time watching the Giants last night.
He's going to get the same talking to that Josh Allen got to from Brian Daboll about.
He's used to it. Yeah, he knows. He's experienced with the chats.
I mean, he's been off the field twice in 3 games.
Yeah,
with like checks. So like we're sitting here laughing and like, thank goodness that there's no injuries on that standpoint. But just don't fly too close to the sun here, right? because you are a lot of fun to watch play football.
Yeah, it's a tough needle for them to thread, right? It could take a while. And you hope that along the way there's no injuries. But bottom line, I had the most fun watching the Giants last night than I've had. I couldn't tell you.
Long time.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you the last time I really enjoyed watching Giants football.
You know what was really refreshing in that game too? The Giants' run game was scatterboo and kind of embracing 2-yard body blows, and then you get a little later in that game and Eagles made some mistakes and like you do get on top, and those 2-3 yard body blows suddenly start turning into like 10-12 yard chunks late in the game. Right.
It's
it's that part of offensive football has not been romanticized as of late, but man, it's when you wear a team out, it's fun to watch it. And obviously to be fair to Philly, that gets aided by Jalen Carter's not playing. Unexpected late scratch with the heel injury and the MetLife turf and all this stuff. But
I don't know how long Scatterbo is going to play. I enjoy it while we can, right?
It's kind of Marion Barber-ish, right? Like,
maybe more
unbridled aggressiveness as a runner.
Yeah,
if you're
the shaking of the head after every,
and you're not familiar with Marion Barber's highlights, when you're done the show, or you could stop right now. I wouldn't blame you. And go pull up Marion Barber highlights on YouTube and watch the way that dude ran in football. Yeah. One of my favorite players of all time.
Who's the guy that was pretty recent for Seattle? Who's that guy? Chris Carson.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a little disrespectful to Scatterbo, but Carson was some of that as well, where I don't know how long he's going to play, but let's enjoy it while we can.
Did Chris Carson, and Chris Carson had I think it was a neck injury that unfortunately
kind of
cut his career short, but yeah, he didn't make it more than 4 games in his age 27 season. That was the shelf life for Chris Carson as an NFL runner. But dude, those 2 years with 1,151 and 1,230 yards in 2018 and 2019. They were something.
Did you catch the clips with Demario Davis after the Saints game? They did some, they had mics on and stuff, and you could see like them going at it during the game. But afterwards, Demario came up to Scatabo and is like,
"Oh
yeah, I'll bring it, dude." Demario Davis is an all-time dude, right? I hate that the Saints have just not been very good lately.
Be nice.
What's the reality is I think people are missing out on watching a great player, So, all right, shall we get into some takes?
Sure.
Michael comes in with this one. He says, "This is the closest the league has been in a long time. Really seems like there is no runaway team. Here's the take. No team will get more than 12 wins this year." You know that I did the research, Kyle.
Okay, I was just getting ready to do the thing, so I'm glad that you have it prepped.
I already did.
The last time nobody won 12 games in a season was when?
Well, according to Summer Brain, that's never happened. But over the last 10 years, here's the amount of 12 or more win teams each year for the last 10. We're starting with 2024. There were 7. 2023, there's 4. 2022, 7. 2021, 6. Now, keep in mind, that's a 17-game schedule. These next 6 will be with a 16-game schedule. 6, 6, 5, 4, 4, 5. I disagree with the take. There will be at least one and probably at least 3, 4, 5, I would guess.
I mean, let's just use Detroit as an example because I have Detroit up right now. They're 4-1. Kansas City Bucks, the next 2, tough. Minnesota, Washington, Philadelphia, New York Giants, Green Bay Packers, Dallas Cowboys. Okay, so this is not a great example of a team that you pull up and say, hey, schedule. They already have 4 wins. Schedule's looking pretty good. Should we be looking at, the Bucks playing in the NFC West?
Look at
right? With 4 wins already, they get San Francisco. Who knows who's going to dress for San Francisco? I'm picking Tampa to win the game. Detroit, okay. But then you're at New Orleans, bye week, home against New England, out of your bye. Tougher game than maybe we thought at the beginning of the year, or some people thought at the beginning of the year. But you get them out of the bye. At Buffalo, at LA Rams, Cardinals, Saints, Falcons, at Panthers, at Dolphins, Panthers to finish for the Bucs.
Stack a few there for sure.
Yeah. Like, I just think there's probably a few teams that already have 4. Buffalo with getting the Dolphins again. Have you guys played the Jets?
Yeah,
get them once.
Get them again. Get Carolina. Get Cincinnati. Get Cleveland. I think you just named 3 teams that I think probably get 12 in Buffalo, Detroit, and Tampa. Here's what I really want to say about this take, and I certainly feel a similar sentiment that I think is at the root of the take, and that it doesn't feel like you're watching the league right now, and that there's like bulletproof teams that are just gonna roll through the season, which rarely ever happens. But ultimately, remember this: teams are building towards something, and the fullest version of a team is not going to be in full display here in the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
And this will normalize and separate. Teams will hit their stride and figure things out and become more of a juggernaut, and it'll happen on the other side of it too. And I think you will see the right teams go on runs and stack wins, because that's what great teams do. There will be 3, 4, 5 of those teams this year that do that. All right, we got a lot to do, including a spicy take about Jalen Hurts that we will address next. So, folks, be sure to stick with us. When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with Supply House. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting on projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered. Need parts fast for a project? Well, Supply House has next-day delivery. Talk about a game changer. They also have a part finder tool and 3D schematics that can save you hours on jobs where every single detail matters. So join the Trade Master program today and score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHNFL5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service. All right, Dolphins Craze says this. By the end of the season, Jalen Hurts should be considered the worst quarterback in his division.
No, I'm not doing this.
Neither am I.
Can't. No, I'm not doing this after a week 6 loss. I can't do it. Jalen's been too good down the stretch too many times, been too good in too many big moments. I'm not doing this.
I think there's been at least twice, maybe 3 times in Jalen Hurts' tenure as a starter where I'm like, I don't think he can go. And then he figures it out, right? They hit their stride. And obviously it's been concerning lately, but that's not new for Jalen Hurts. Ultimately, this guy does have a figure-it-out ability. He's been to 2 Super Bowls, played great in both, was an MVP of the last one. I'm just not doing it. I've learned lessons about writing off Jalen Hurts, and I'm not going to do it again. And, I mean, I'm really curious about Jackson Dart, but, like, come on now. Let's let it play out a little bit. I think a lot of Jaden Daniels. I think a lot of Dak Prescott. But let's not bury Jalen Hurts. He's told us too many times not to bury him.
This is when I wish I had the soundboard so I could pull up the Nick Saban. I'm not going to, so quit asking. That's it. Ironically enough, had to do with Jalen Hurts.
Was it? Oh yeah, that's true, right? It was
the Tua's
going to play.
Jalen Hurts, who's the starter next week or whatever.
Yeah, good call. August says the 2025 league MVP will either be Drake May, Josh Allen, or Jackson Dart. I personally think the MVP right now is Baker Mayfield.
It is Baker Mayfield, in my opinion.
So, obviously, he didn't say right now. He said the 2025 league MVP. You think it's one of those 3 guys?
No, I'll take the field.
I think there's a chance for Allen or May, but I think
I will take the field.
Taking the field feels like the right move. Weekly Huddle says this: the discussions around Chris Ballard this past offseason were way too critical. Finding a quarterback is the hardest job in NFL history, and him missing on his swings prior does not color his record as a GM as much as the rest of the roster building, which has been consistently great.
I think there's some adjectives doing some heavy lifting here.
Ooh, I like that.
Right?
I'm going to use that in my next argument with my wife, you know? That seems like a good line, you know? I'll see how that goes for me.
I think Chris Ballard has had, I think in a lot of ways, when you isolate the quarterback variable, I think there's been a lot of good process in what he's done. I've liked the points of emphasis that they've had as far as what players they have tried to prioritize. Whether or not those players have been developed or not is obviously a different story, but I don't know, like Anthony Richardson, high variance, high risk pick, every Band-Aid that they try to slap on this thing was kind of just, who can we get, right? And I get, like, you have to have an answer and a plan, but kind of caught in a rock at a hard place because Andrew Luck retires on you in the prime of his career through, in large part, to no fault of your own, because it was the previous GM's teams that pounded him into dust. But the ghost of Matt Ryan and 40-year-old Phillip Rivers, like, if those are your options, I would at least ask what other options you maybe had.
I think the most important job of a general manager is to get a quarterback. So I hear you. I think the rest of the team has been pretty good. I feel like I've fallen into that multiple years in a row. I'm like, yeah, I kind of like this roster.
Yep.
And then it's like, well, I don't know about the quarterback. So I think we should acknowledge that the most important thing a GM has to do is find that quarterback. But then I think the other part of this is the hype that exists with Chris Ballard and, like, this annual propping up of him as this unbelievable general manager. And it's like, well, what do you have to show for it? I'm sensitive to your problems for sure, but I think he's been elevated. He's always been elevated into a stratosphere that I thought was inappropriate. And I think Chris Ballard does a phenomenal job with media relationships. And I think that influences, right? That's part of the deal, right? Is how do you schmooze and get people to be on your side so that way things are spun favorably. And I think he's done a masterful job of that. But if the most important thing he's got to do is find a quarterback, and he's went through this many missteps to get one, I think that he deserves criticism for that. David, sorry, anything else?
Let's just look at some of these draft classes with the Colts. And Andrew Luck retired. It was like the season of 2018. They didn't draft a quarterback in 2019 at all. They draft Jacob Eason in the 4th round in 2020. You know who was on the board when they picked in the 2nd round that year?
Who was that?
Jalen Hurts.
I don't know. Yeah.
They draft Sam Ehlinger in the 6th round in 2021. And then they draft Anthony Richardson in the 1st round in 2023. So you could say, oh, they took some dart throws. I think it's fair to question the nature of the dart throws that were taken. Jordan Love was on the board for them in the 1st round, correct? Who'd they pick in the 1st round that year? They didn't have a 1st round pick. They traded back to 34 for Michael Pittman.
Well, let's not forget they originally committed to Jacoby Brissett. They didn't have much of a choice, but they gave him like a deal.
Yeah. That's a lot of information to have to. I'd love to sort through that more, but I think the way the path in which they tried to navigate it, like, you can be sympathetic to it, but probably some opportunities that could have led them to some answers faster than 2025.
David says the quarterback position in college is the least prepared ready for the NFL, as college coaches are only worried about winning rather than preparing players for the professional game.
I like this take. I don't know that I agree with it. Like, offensive linemen a lot of times come in and it's just, hey, be big and get your hands on people and be more athletic and stronger than them. The quarterback's probably up there for the degree of, especially the standard of like what Peyton Manning was and what Tom Brady was, right? Like, that's, you don't play that at all. And especially as the games become more of a spread and you've had more guys leaning even more on their athleticism.
I was listening to Trevor Lawrence on an interview with Part of My Take, and he was talking about the adjustment to the National Football League. He's like, he just straight up said, he's like, yeah, like the whole play call where it's 20 words. He's like, dude, we just looked at the sideline. Got the play call. He's like, an audible. He's like, no, we just looked at the sideline and the coach would tell us to either stick with the play or change it. He's like, now I got to go up to the line with a 20-word play call. And 2 of them, he's like, I'm going to the line with 2 play calls and I'm picking. He's like, that, that's a big adjustment. But I also think that there is something to be said for the positions that these players put them in. Like, if you're a quarterback and it's most important to you to get ready to go play in the National Football League, don't go to Tennessee. You know what I mean? It's like, you gotta understand the priorities of the coaches and what your priorities are as a player and put yourself in a spot that's going to give you that best chance. So, I think there's some of that as well. But yeah, I don't necessarily think a college job, coach's job is to prepare you to play at the next level. I think it's a benefit if they can, but like that is their focus, is to win games for their program. All right, we got more to do. Some fun stuff here and some big ideas on officiating and flag football. We'll do that here next, folks. Be sure to stick with us. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer that you do not want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and you'll get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put $5 down, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love how FanDuel gives me so many different ways to play. I've built parlays, tried player props, and even followed the live lines during games. It makes watching football even more exciting when you got a little something riding on the action. So whether you're a casual fan or love diving into the stats, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started.
The 2023 draft class was just ridiculous with quarterbacks.
23?
Yeah, I'm down the rabbit hole. So the three that go early in the first 4 picks, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson. Will Levis goes at 33. Hendon Hooker, 68. Jake Haener, 127. How many quarterbacks have the Saints drafted since drafting Jake Haener with a 4th-round pick?
Yeah.
Stetson Bennett, 4th-round pick. Aiden O'Connell, 4th-round pick. How many different quarterbacks have the Raiders had since drafting Aiden O'Connell with a 4th-round pick? Clayton Tune, 139. DTR, 140. Sean Clifford, 149. Jaron Hall, 164. These are all 5th-round picks. Probably the best one here is Tanner McKee, got drafted by the Eagles at 188. Max Dugan, set 239.
Sobering for the people that draft the quarterback every year, or, pick somebody on day 3. Like, sometimes it's that,
Pick a Max Dugan. At
Let's see
least if you're going to burn the pick there in the 7th round, right?
Yeah.
Like
that 4th round, Haener, Bennett, O'Connell.
And then the first 5 picks of the 5th round was Clayton Tune and DT.
Those are all top 150 selections. Yeah. Gross.
I'm done.
Adam says this: the best quarterback in the NFL in 3 years will be Jordan Love. He has been through adversity with Rodgers, had an injury season, is playing with the youngest team in the league. He's currently 4th or better in EPA, CPOE, I think PFF grade, quarterback rating, and yards per attempt. He is still waiting for his top receiver in Watson to return.
Is Christian Watson his top receiver?
It's what Adam says, but I think the point that he's making is in 3 years, Jordan Love will be QB1 in the NFL.
I could see that happening. I'm a pro Jordan Love guy. I like the traits. I like the kind of the aggressiveness. Isn't sometimes too aggressive, but the best in the NFL is probably a little ambitious based on some guys who I expect to still be playing 4 years from now. Yeah. But I think he'll be a much easier to peg as a top consensus top 8 quarterback.
Yeah, you got an excellent starter for Jordan Love. I don't know. The best feels rich. Maybe in 3 years. We could say in 3 years. Charlie says referees decide too many games. Here's an interesting idea. I've never heard this before. An independent group chosen by the NFLPA should review every game and give each ref a public score. Top-ranked crews get the postseason and bonus money. Crews can be removed by owner's vote. Also allow challenges on every play, non-calls too. That's get a little crazy there, but
yeah.
What can we focus on the most interesting part of this, which is an independent group to review every game and give each ref a public score?
They don't even pay the refs full time. You get pay a independent group to grade the refs full time when you can't even pay the refs full time.
Okay, well, there's not a lack of funds in the NFL. So I mean, and these referees are making over $200,000 a year.
I get it. But you have to have the owners and you have to have the Players Association green light, because that's a CBA thing, right?
Probably.
So are they going to voluntarily pay out? I mean, they have an assessment system already for officials. I think the most popular trend this year feels like it's bagging on officials.
It's every year, isn't it? It's
you got Jordan Schultz saying officials need to get fined for bad calls.
That's a bit rich.
So I don't walk away from a ton of games saying, man, the officials really decided that game. I don't get that impression. But maybe that's just me.
Deciding is a big word. That's a heavy word there.
That adjective is doing some heavy lifting.
I think so. Is decide an adjective though? So I'm not getting into that.
Deciding in the way that it's being applied, yeah.
Isn't it adjective's a descriptive word, right?
Deciding the game. I'm deciding the game. It's a verb.
Draft dudes do grammar?
Yeah, Grammarly. Draft dudes do Grammarly.
No, referees annoy me a lot. They do. I think they can insert themselves too much into big moments. They have a hard job to do. I do recognize that. I struggle with the threading the right needle with how to hold them accountable. But I feel like it's a problem that doesn't improve on a lot of their judgment calls and consistency with how things are called. So I'm interested in ideas for sure. That's what I'll say.
What if you had a sky judge?
Sure. Yeah. What if it makes it better? Then sure. But what my concern is, it's mostly it's the judgment calls. It's the ticky-tack holding. It's how OPI is officiated. Things, stuff like that. It's like
that's the game of life, brother. Human element to it.
Which I can accept that to a certain degree, but it's frustrating. Doesn't mean it's not frustrating, and I wouldn't be trying to figure out how to make it better. Are we just supposed to accept that bad officiating is part of football?
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I'm sorry. Then watch bowling.
I'm not going to.
Because the pin falls over, the pin doesn't, right? Like
they got a tough job to do. Man.
Chaotic muddy mess.
All right, let's finish with this one. Ross, not Ross Jackson.
Ross Jackson.
Yeah, Ross Jackson. The NFL will support a professional flag football league in Europe before it expands official teams into Europe.
It's probably an easier, softer transition, right?
Yeah.
So they're all about they're heavy in the flag because that is everybody can play flag. They're heavy into international because they want to expand the game into more markets and have a larger global footprint. We got flag with the Olympics now, and I think that is a can of worms that could see something like this happen. I would not be surprised at all for something like this to manifest.
Yeah, I can see that. You ever look at these AI predicts the next 50 Super Bowl winners? You see these graphics? I'm sure you have. I think you got one coming to like 2044, so just hang tight. But you see there's all these they're on there. So I think that's interesting. Not that holds any weight, but you look at those pictures and you're like, what teams are these? And it's, some Europe team. So I think it's a fair take.
That's it.
I'm good.
That's it. Kyle Crabbs, Joe Marino. Friday, October 10th, shows in the books. Hope you guys enjoy week 6 of the NFL season, week 7 of the college season coming your way this weekend. Make sure you check out all the games. Come back, see us on Monday as we talk about everything that we see as it unfolds. Hope to see you then.